Hello NBA fans, every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I'm counting on you to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The Lakers are at a crucial juncture, needing to decide which direction to take with their signings. Should they look for stars to partner with LeBron James now and compromise their future? Or should they look for high-caliber youngsters to join Luka Doncic and have a chance to win some championships? The Lakers' new owner has hinted that he wants to build a great team to win championships and build an NBA dynasty, and that the new signings will be around Luka Doncic, not LeBron James, who is nearing retirement. A proposed trade with the Golden State Warriors brings two valuable young players to the Lakers, Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. Ever since the 2024 Olympics, many fans have wanted Stephen Curry and LeBron James to pair up at the NBA level. They were electric while representing the United States, and the same would be true in the league they dominate. However, with both players nearing the end of their illustrious careers, the time for them to do so is quite limited. The Golden State Warriors are mounting for one final run behind Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. The Lakers, on the other hand, are shifting towards Luka Doncic's timeline, as the young superstar is the future in Hollywood. After recent reports regarding James' eagerness to compete for one final title, the possibility of the legendary forward being moved has opened up. Warriors predicted to make blockbuster trade for James with Lakers. Could Golden State enter the sweepstakes to land James? They've called the Lakers regarding a trade for the four-time champion previously. This time around, they can try and secure a deal using restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. Bleacher Report's Eric Beeston proposed such an idea in a recent piece, pitching an idea that helps both teams shift towards their timeline. Still one of the league's elite, his best chance of winning a fifth NBA title is no longer in Los Angeles, where the front office is transitioning from a team centered around the best of his generation to one led by Luka Doncic, Beeston writes. Amid all of the maneuvering going on behind the scenes with the Lakers, Ramona Shelburne and Brian Windhorst reported for ESPN that the Golden State Warriors were one team that had reached out to Los Angeles about a potential deal for James. Any deal between the two teams would see the Warriors give up a substantial package for James, with Jonathan Kuminga likely included. Brandon Podziemski may be another asset shipped off to Los Angeles, along with several draft picks. The thought of the Lakers, or any team, for that matter, making a trade involving James, who is considered among the greatest to ever touch a basketball, is absurd. It isn't easy to make sense of. But Los Angeles is now zeroed in on Doncic. Kuminga and Podziemski fit the Slovenian superstar's timeline, giving him another guard and swingman forward to rely on. The NBA rumor mill is buzzing with a wild trade proposal that could see LeBron James and his son Bronny James reunite with the Miami Heat. The proposed deal, floated by Siddhant Gupta of Fadeaway World, would send LeBron and Bronny from the Los Angeles Lakers to Miami in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, and 2 first-round draft picks. This blockbuster idea has sparked intense debate among fans and analysts alike. LeBron, who previously thrived with the Heat from 2010 to 2014, winning 2 championships alongside Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, could bring his veteran leadership back to South Beach. At 40, his skills remain elite, and pairing him with the Heat's young core could push the Heat, who finished 10th in the Eastern Conference last season, back into contention. Bronny, still finding his footing as he enters his sophomore season, would benefit from his father's guidance and the Heat's development system, potentially carving out a niche as a defensive-minded guard. However, the trade's cost has raised eyebrows. 2 first-round picks, combined with Wiggins and Rozier, might be steep for a player in the twilight of his career, even one as exceptional as LeBron. Lakers fans might balk at losing future assets, while Heat supporters argue the picks are overpayment for a short-term rental. The Lakers could use the incoming players and picks to rebuild, but the emotional pull of keeping LeBron and Bronny together might sway negotiations. This trade idea, while speculative, ignites nostalgia and intrigue. Would Pat Riley pull the trigger, or will LeBron's no-trade clause keep him in LA? The NBA offseason just got a lot more interesting. Another deal was also suggested to the Lakers. Bronny James' desired role might be the biggest obstacle to his success. Bronny James has the tools to be a rotational NBA player. It just won't be as an on-ball guard. It can be tough to not get in your own way at times. That may be the case with Bronny James and his desire to develop into an on-ball guard at the NBA level. Raj Chipalu pointed out that goal for the rapidly developing young talent on a recent episode of Buha's Block. The Los Angeles Lakers writer explained that has been openly expressed by Bronny himself. Chipalu said, "If you go to the source, and you ask Bronny, he will very clearly tell you, I want to be an on-ball guard. That's what I'm preparing for. That's the reps I'm getting. That's what the assistant coaches are watching film on with me." Whether he will attain that is a little difficult. Jovan Buha's guest highlighted the challenges that come with James' size and the level of offensive player needed to find success in that role. Chipalu did admit that watching the growth and confidence for Bronny offers some encouragement, nonetheless. Path to NBA minutes for Bronny James could lie elsewhere. James knows working his way into an NBA rotation starts on the defensive end. That much has always been clear and will remain the truth for the foreseeable future. However, being a non-factor on offense will not keep him there. Bronny has done some incredible work since being selected by the Lakers in the second round of the 2024 NBA draft to polish his skills offensively. There is just some dispute here as to what is the most direct and sustainable model for James to aspire to. Chipalu did mention some other points to Buha worth pointing out here. The ball handling has improved a ton for Bronny. So has the pull-up jump shooting. These elements should help James in pursuing that role. Being a pest on the defense end, they just want me to come out and be myself. This is all before the inevitable but has to enter the discussion. This does need to be evaluated in terms of being done against G League, and more recently Summer League, competition. Not all of these guys are future NBA-level talents. That is not to say Bronny cannot carry over these skills learned at that level to an NBA rotation someday. However, the more sustainable goal, in terms of reliable effectiveness, would be to fill out as a 3-and-D player. James' impressive defense and athleticism, including his point-of-attack capabilities, earn him some solid consideration for playing time already. That skill set aligns well with what the Lakers are missing right now too. If Bronny sees his long-term future in Los Angeles, that would hopefully mean spending a lot of time with Luka Doncic in the future. LeBron James' retirement decision receives new update. After the Los Angeles Lakers were eliminated from the playoffs in April, the biggest talking point heading into the offseason was reshaping the roster and acquiring a center to improve their championship hopes. However, no storyline has generated more buzz than LeBron James' future and the possibility of him playing his final season with the Lakers. James opted into his $52.6 million player option for the 2025-26 season but did not sign an extension with the Lakers, a move many interpreted as a sign that his time in Los Angeles may be winding down. Though rumors initially linked him to potential trades, recent chatter has focused more on whether James may be considering retirement next summer. The talks of James playing just one more year before he draws the curtain gained traction when ESPN's Dave McMenamin reported that there have been no extension or trade talks between James and the Lakers, suggesting that James could be preparing for his last year in the league. The one thing that I will say is that he is going, I believe, based on everything that I know about LeBron and all the conversations that I've had with people in his orbit, his general orbit, I believe that LeBron is going to make it known that he is going to retire before he retires, Fedor said. It's not going to be a situation where he plays out the final year, and then in the offseason, he just retires. He added, the sense that I get is LeBron wants it all. He wants the farewell tour. He wants all of these different franchises reliving all of his moments against them. He wants all of the glitz and the glam that comes with one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time, calling it quits, eventually. Should that be the case for James, it would align with how other legends ended their NBA careers. The late Kobe Bryant, for example, announced his retirement few weeks into his final season and was honored by fans and franchises league-wide throughout the year. After more than 2 decades, it's safe to say that James has undoubtedly earned a similar send-off, if and when he chooses to hang it up. Lakers trade proposal lands Marcus Smart in Wizards deal. Marcus Smart has been identified as a potential trade target for the Lakers. This is the package they must offer the Wizards. The 2025 edition of the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas has begun, and the Los Angeles Lakers' search for upgrades up and down their roster continues along. According to ClutchPoint's senior Lakers insider Anthony Irwin, LA is hoping to reignite trade talks during Summer League, with one of their potential targets being former Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart. Smart, however, is no longer the player he once was. In fact, the Memphis Grizzlies had to attach a first-round pick just so they could get rid of Smart and his contract, and the Washington Wizards obliged. Smart once had one of the best contracts in the league, and yet here he is, having little to no trade value whatsoever, which could then pave the way for the Lakers to snag him for cheap. He's in the final year of his deal, making around $21 million, and Smart, if not traded, appears likely to be headed for the buyout market. But the Lakers would have many competitors in such a scenario, and trading for Smart allows them to get ahead of the competition in what could be a comeback season of sorts for the 2022 DPOY. Here's the package the Lakers must put together to acquire Smart in a trade with the Wizards. Lakers upgrade their backup point guard. Lakers acquire Marcus Smart. Wizards acquire Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, 2032 second-round pick. Towards the end of the 2024-25 season, Gabe Vincent began to round into form for the Lakers, looking like the man they signed off free agency from the Miami Heat in 2023. It was a major bounce back for Vincent, who played in just 11 games for the Lakers in his disastrous first season in LA. At the end of the day, Vincent, while a solid 3-and-D bench point guard, could not recapture the form he had for the Miami Heat now that he's on the Lakers. He averaged 6.4 points on 40% shooting last year, and he looms as a huge trade chip for the Lakers now that he's in the final year of his contract making $11 million. What made Vincent valuable for the Lakers last season was that he showed up for the majority of the season, suiting up in 72 games and providing some much-needed backcourt versatility for the purple and gold. Giving him up for Smart requires the Lakers to take a risk and have faith that the 2022 DPOY isn't damaged goods quite yet. That requires a lot of positive thinking, as the Grizzlies, the team that acquired Smart to be their de facto Dillon Brooks replacement, had to give up a first-rounder just so they could get his contract off the books. Smart hasn't been at his best physically over the past few seasons, picking up a knock here and there which added up to a ton of missed time. Last year, Smart played in just 34 games, and over the past 2 campaigns, he suited up in just 54 contests. Availability may not be the best ability, but it sure does matter a lot, and for a Lakers squad that's looking to compete for a championship in the loaded Western Conference, Smart would need to play a ton of minutes in the event that he lands in LA, putting him at risk of picking up injuries. There is a chance that the 31-year-old won't be able to return to his DPOY form, although even then, he would represent an upgrade over Vincent. But it's not quite clear if the Lakers could afford to play it safe with Smart by giving him occasional rest days and not overworking him. LA may not have such luxury, especially if they're trading away a valuable bench piece in Vincent in the process. But at the very least, Smart showed that he can still play solid basketball for stretches. His shooting percentages improved towards the end of last season when he was with the Wizards, and in LA, he won't be tasked to do much of anything other than to defend, hit open shots, and ruffle opponents' feathers. The expectation for Smart should the Lakers trade for him would be for him to play at least 65 games, play 20 minutes a night, and act as a key piece of a purple and gold squad that aims to recapture the defensive heights they reached last year. With the departure of Dorian Finney-Smith, acquiring a multi-positional defender is a must for the Lakers, and Smart, while undersized relative to Finney-Smith, has shown he can battle against the premier scorers of the association, provided he remains healthy, of course. For the opportunity to perhaps facilitate a career revival for Smart, the Lakers, in this scenario, will be giving up Maxi Kleber and a 2032 second-rounder as well. That second-rounder is 7 years out, so that should not matter too much for a team looking to win now. Kleber could be a valuable stretch big option, but one would think that the Lakers would want to keep Jared Vanderbilt over Kleber instead when choosing who to include for salary matching purposes.